we are going to be looking at the software that runs the coding for the CNC router. So you're going to go up here and you're going to go to VCarve Pro Edition. I have 9.0 open. Going to maximize that so we can see it. I'm going to create a new file. The material I'm working with is 6 inches wide by 5 inches by 0.75 inches, the thickness. So when we look at this, we're going to do one side. We're not doing two sides. We're going to look at the surface material. We're starting at the Z. We're starting the 0 and on the top of the material. We're going to start 0, 0 is going to be located in the middle of the material. It's just going to be easier to center the bit of the router to the center of the material versus one edge. So we're going to leave that and we're going to hit OK. So what this does is this opens up a drawing menu here. All different types of things we can do. So I'm just going to keep it really simple just to give you the basic ideas of what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to do text and I'm going to type in EHS Fab Lab. I'm going to leave it Times New Roman. You could do bold italic if you want. You could, I want it centered. So, and the anchor point or where it's going to start centering it as 0, 0, which is the very center here. So if you click apply, you can see what it's going to look like before it gets started. I'm happy with that. That's fine. So I'm going to close it. Now let's add a picture. So I went on the internet and I Googled line art flower. So you can see we just want something really simple, not a lot of detail, and we want it to be like coloring book material. So I already did that. I already saved that to my desktop. So now I'm going to go down here and go import vectors or bitmap. Bitmap is the one you're going to want to do. I want to add a simple flower. So I've already went on the internet. I Googled one. I did line art. If you do line art, this gives you like a coloring book page. Something really simple, something really easy, not a lot of detail for this first one. So I'm going to go import bitmap. I've already saved it to my desktop, so I'm going to type in flower.png and open it. So there it is. I'm going to transform it so I can make it smaller. I don't want it very big, and I'm going to move it up in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to hit close. When you go to engrave this, it's not going to understand what that is because it doesn't understand regular pictures. So you have to take it and you have to trace the bitmap. That's what they call it. So you're going to select the left click and drag to select it. Go down here to trace bitmap. Select the color. The color of the lines is black. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to come down to the bottom here. I think we can ignore everything else and hit preview. So it looks like it's going to be fine. Hit apply and now we have our, close that window, now we have our flower. So what we're going to do now is select everything and go to open up the toolpaths here, the toolpaths we're hiding. Click on that, open it up, go to VCarve. We're just going to do a carving of it, nothing super special. We're going to select all of this because I want the flower as well as the EHS Fab Lab to be routed out. We're starting at 0 depth. We have a 90-degree V-bit. That's what I want to keep that at, and everything else is fine, so we're going to hit calculate. So when you look at it in the window, you can see that it's going to do my little flower like I want. It's going to say EHS Fab Lab. That's what I want. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to save this. Save toolpath to file. I'm do it on my desktop and go EHS Fab Lab. So I have it. So what that does is if you go back to my desktop and look at that, that creates the file that the router can see. What happens a lot of times is I accidentally just shut it down now and go to the router program and not save this. So if you don't save this, you can't really look at this and make any edits. So you want to save it in VCarve also. So I'm going to go save as EHS Fab Lab. Take off the SVP, that's a shopbot file, and hit save. Okay, so I have it in both places. So when I'm done with that, I'm going to close this out. And if you double click on your V-carve so you can see it. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Close it out. When you look at the preview toolpath, you can see the preview selected toolpath. You can look at it. It's going to cut it out. It's going to simulate the cut. You can slow the speed down. The speed's pretty high right now. You can look at it before it actually starts cutting it. Reset preview. So the blank piece of wood, go ahead and cut it now, and you can see that's the actual bit, not the actual bit, but that's kind of the order it's going to go in, and that's the file. So if you're happy with that, then you can close out of this, take the file over to the laptop for the router, and load it in there and get ready to cut the file.